What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's day is going by fast. Hope everyone's having a good night. Just flustered with everything, all the tech issues I'm having tonight. Sorry for the late start. I could not get my camera to actually work tonight, so I'm gonna be playing with that right after the stream using my MacBook camera. So, um, yeah, I appreciate everyone for joining. I see Jason and Patar in here. Hope you guys are doing good. I see Siova in here. Definitely got to get Siova on a stream again one day. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys for joining. I do have a few creators with me. I have two right now, and then two more are gonna join later on. One of them has been on here a few times actually now. I think this is his second time maybe. He's a huge tech TikToker, a very creative creator. We're gonna bring up Ramal Media. How you doing, man?
Hi Galen, how you doing? I'm doing really well.
It's good to hear. I almost didn't let you do it with the Blue Yeti, so just want to
Oh,
throw that out there.
okay.
It's like the
It's the
most
only
hype
mic I
boy
have that
thing you
actually
can
sounds
use.
good. Dude.
But
I got it
yeah,
back in
how's
2017. It works
how's your
great.
day going so far?
I'm pretty good. It's 12. It's just past noon right now for me.
Oh yeah,
On Wednesday. So we're living in the future.
oh yeah. And if you guys don't know, Ramal is actually in Australia, so definitely appreciate his time and dedication to the stream.
No worries, man. No worries.
Okay, so the next guy that I'm going to bring up, he is someone I just found like recently on Twitter. He is a writer for a news source called Android Headlines, and we're actually going to be using some of his articles to generate discussion today. Makes very nice articles, always up to date with everything, and he's actually going to start a YouTube channel pretty soon. So I'd like to bring up Arthur. How you doing, man? It looks like we can't hear you for a minute. That's hilarious. That's just tech issues today. He
We're
is
all having
literally
tech
just
issues.
get Yeah, he literally was just talking to us backstage a second ago, but we'll see if he can get that on. So yeah, are you working on anything, Ramal,
I was
currently?
actually filming a couple of videos right before this stream, so they're just some small TikTok videos that should be going up later today. One of them did go up. One of them later today.
I gotcha.
Um, yeah, just about some iPhone stuff. Because people keep asking me about the iPhone SE, and I just don't recommend the iPhone SE in 2022. I keep pushing people towards getting a refurbished iPhone 11 Pro
Hmm.
instead for around the same price, because I think it's unequivocally a better phone, a better budget iPhone than the iPhone SE, in my opinion.
I gotcha. So I think Arthur is back up and going now.
Yeah, like
Sweet.
10 seconds before you put me on, my everything just stopped working audio wise.
Yeah, I don't know if it's StreamYard. I don't know if it's just like the universe. I don't know what it is, but it's not messing with us today. It's hilarious.
Probably a combination of both.
So yeah, how's your day going so far, Arthur?
Not bad. Been pretty productive.
I gotcha.
So yeah, it's been writing all day pretty much.
Oh,
Haven't
that's
been about
good.
stuff.
What are your latest articles about?
Yeah, my latest articles, since the launch of the Galaxy S22 phones are so close, it's been a lot of big leaks, mostly by like Evan Blass, and a couple stories about the Galaxy Tab S series, or the
Okay,
Galaxy Tab S8 series. And other than that, just regular like updates to Telegram and Instagram, that kind of stuff.
I gotcha. So yeah, again, Arthur is a writer for a source called Android Headlines. So we're gonna bring up one of his articles right now and just gonna let him go over it, basically summarize it. Let me share my screen.
Let me pull mine up so I don't forget what I wrote.
No problem. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Nothing has four new devices in the works and appoints a new design director. So, what do you have to tell us about that, Arthur?
Yeah, so basically, so we all know about Nothing. Last year they unveiled the first devices, the Nothing earphones. A lot of reviews say that they're all right, they're not bad, but I think they're positively received for a first generation device. And
Mm-hmm.
so, to start off, they actually appointed, so they're getting more serious about these devices. So they
Uh-huh.
appointed a design director whose name is Adam Bates. And Adam Bates, he was a design director for Dyson for 14 years.
Okay.
So they have him on, and they said that they're going to be, they didn't disclose what the devices were, but they're going to be working on four new devices.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we have no idea what they could possibly be. They could either be more earbuds, which would be fun, which would be safe but boring. Because I think on the very outside, the most risky thing they'll probably do is introduce some sort of smartphone. I
Mm-hmm.
doubt it, but it'd be really interesting to see like a clear smartphone. Um, but yeah, that's then pretty much it. So on that story.
Okay, yeah. Nothing. I was not interested in the earbuds like at all. Like I was interested in the price when I first saw them, and I thought the design was like interesting, but that's just something I never pulled the trigger on. I know a lot of people had trouble buying it, like when it first came out. Do you remember when the Nothing Buds first came out, Ramal?
I do. I was actually like looking to buy them, but I couldn't find them anywhere. They were either out of stock or just not available.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, like I do really like how they look. I think Nothing was definitely trying to make a splash with the ear ones because new company, like whole new direction, whatever.
right.
But like for the price, I think they tick a lot of boxes. Like I don't think they're the best at anything, but like they do tick a
Hmm.
lot of boxes. Kind of like AirPods Pro. Like they're not the best at anything in particular, really, but they tick a lot of
Yeah,
boxes.
they just handle all the basics.
Hmm.
And they have a
Yeah.
good gimmick of like being so light that it feels like nothing's in your ear.
Oh, that
Uh-huh.
too, yeah.
So I think they're
So
gonna go
yeah.
on that.
So yeah, I'm curious to see if they will do something like the Essential phone. Like I really hope to see like a phone being in one of those four devices, maybe a phone, a smartwatch, and more earbuds. That's what I'm wanting from Nothing next.
Yeah, I'm really
Um,
curious how they tackle the phone because obviously they have Carl Pei, who was the founder of OnePlus.
yeah, exactly.
Like he's like basically leading the charge there. Um, you just spoke about the Essential phone. I love the Essential phone. Like I just love that phone so much. It's like one of my
Yeah,
favorite phones. It's kind of like the one that got away for like the whole phone community. I'm curious to see how Nothing would tackle the smartphone because, like, I'm curious. Will they take a more premium approach, or do you think they'll take like more of a budget approach, like
yeah. What do
how
you think?
OnePlus originally started?
Yeah, what do you think about that, Arthur? Do you think it's going to be like a budget-friendly mid-range device, or do you think they're just going to go all out on a flagship like other companies are right now?
Hopefully not really a flagship because
Hmm.
the thing is, like Apple and Samsung have that market pretty much cornered at the moment, even though the devices cost over $1,000.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
we don't have any predictions right yet because like the sources we're getting this from, they're pretty dry for right now. So they're probably like since they just appointed the design person, they're probably still designing things right now. So we have no idea. But I would love for them to hit sort of that midpoint between being budget and being premium so that
Yeah.
it has a good price that people
Mm-hmm.
can swallow but can give us some of the fun stuff like maybe a 1080p display but like a nice good Samsung made display,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, probably decent cameras, but I know camera tech is hard for new companies to get right.
Yeah, especially with
Yeah.
the consumer getting more judgmental about it
I mean,
later.
OnePlus is still
Exactly.
struggling. They've been
Yeah,
around for like
exactly.
what 8 years
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I definitely hope to see them like drop like a phone that's like 599 or something like that and make it like just
Yeah.
one phone. I don't want to see like a small and a big version. I just want to see one phone in which they try really hard at and try to
If they
make it a
do
good
make a
bang for your
phone,
buck.
yeah, if they do make a phone, I'd love it to like go head to head with the Pixel 6a. That would be sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect market to aim for.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna touch some of these comments. I saw a really funny one earlier. Direct text dry humor. Let me see. If is Ramal's mic upside down because he's down under. That's
Um,
hilarious.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Okay. And he also asked, do the Nothing Buds have an Android? I do not remember the videos on the Nothing Buds at all. I want to say they do because, like, pretty much every major earbud does, but I'm
Yeah, I'd be
not
surprised
completely
if they
sure.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I've because I remember the OnePlus Buds had one, and it was like weird because it wasn't on iOS yet. They had one for Android. I would guess nothing would have one as well.
I'll guess too, especially if they want to tackle some sort of premium market.
Yeah, and Jason C, Mr. Controversy, he came in here and said nothing missed on the camera there. DOA, unfortunately, just a reality.
I mean, yeah, if they do miss, that would be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay, what's up? Tech, tech, analogy. Guess that's how
Technology.
you pronounce it. Guess that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, I'm gonna just hop to the next article. Actually, before I do that, the Galaxy S22 prices. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, John
It
Prosser's
looks
video.
like John Prosser had another leak, and it dropped another $100.
I mean, hopefully that does like remain true though, especially with inflation and the chip shortage. But like, I have my fingers crossed.
Yeah, I really hope they price it like the same as what it was last year. Like 10.99 would be like the perfect world, but 11.99 like for the Ultra, I don't think that's a bad price for a phone that does that much, and it puts it right there with the 13 Pro Max.
I still wonder if the S22 Ultra is going to have the rumored 8 gigs of starting RAM. I do wonder about that, but like, I don't know. We'll have to see.
I think they will just because we've seen like so many leaks about it. Like the price is the only
Yeah.
thing that changed. It's kind of harder to like be off with like things like RAM and camera and things like that. But
Hey guys,
for sure,
I may have to change my headphones. These keep bugging out on me.
no
No
problem.
worries.
I'll be back.
So yeah, yeah, I'm like just really curious to see like what they do with that, the S22 series now, since they dropped the prices. Even the base like S22 is 799 now, so I think that's a way better price,
I
than
think
what it
so.
was at.
Going head to head with the iPhone 13, which I think is like the best
Yeah,
option for it.
exactly, and they're literally like the same product, different
Yep.
manufacturer. Um, Let me go through some of these comments right now. At EK, I was thinking the exact same thing. Actually, but I don't know why there's a $200 price gap between the S22 and S22 Plus when basically the only thing changing is the size. Like I know it is probably more expensive, especially since Samsung displays are just so good, but I don't think it justifies that 200. Honestly, like
Yeah,
a
honestly,
thousand
like,
dollars for
mm,
a not even flagship.
yeah,
That's kind of
I'd like,
crazy.
I'd say that the perfect pricing for it would be like 799 S22, 899 S22 Plus, and like you said before, 1099 S22 Ultra. That would be
Yeah,
like, in my mind, the perfect pricing for it.
yeah, I agree 100%. Okay.
Okay,
So
can you
you
guys
get,
hear me?
yep, yep, even
Okay.
better. Okay,
I'm
so
on
we are
wired
just
now.
talking. No problem. So yeah, we are just talking about the prices of the S22. It just leaked that it's going to be $100 less. How do you feel about that?
To be completely honest, I don't super duper pay attention to the more expensive smartphones because those are way out of my price range. But I think
Uh huh.
bringing down the price at all is good because it's only a matter of time before regular slap phones are starting to like hit hit the average price of a foldable because
Right.
because
Mm.
companies like Google and Oppo are planning on bringing foldable prices down. So
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I definitely think I feel like since more people are buying foldables, it's kind of like giving an excuse for like Samsung and Apple to like raise the prices on their flagships by $100 or so.
yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was a really interesting point that you just made. So we're gonna go to another one of your articles talking about the specs of the S22 and the S22 Plus. So yeah, walk us through this article that you posted.
Yeah, so yeah, Evan Blash just dropped a huge bomb on us with a bunch of like basically just told everything about the specs. And the two lower tier phones, they're more similar, and then the Ultra is just kind of up top. So the regular Galaxy S22, that one's going to have a 6.1 inch display, 1080p. It's going to be a dynamic AMOLED X2, but dynamic AMOLED 2X display that can reach 1,300 nits brightness and 120 hertz, and it's going to be the same thing for the S22 Plus. So they're like similar. So the S22 is going to be, I think, 6.6 inches, and then one thing that they talked about a bit on the Android Central podcast was whether or not the Exynos 2200 was going to be in these phones, and they actually are. Samsung unveiled this chip, 4nm process. Let me actually pull up the article itself because I don't want to say anything wrong. But I didn't get any info on the batteries.
Yeah. So nothing's been leaked on the batteries yet.
Yeah, not yet. As for the cameras, they're both. I'm pretty sure they're going to share the same exact cameras. So it's going to be a 50 megapixel main camera at f1.8 aperture, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 10 megapixel telephoto with 10 megapixel selfie camera. And just like before, okay, so the regular Galaxy S22 is going to have 25-watt charging, fast charging, and the Plus is going to have 45-watt charging, which is one of the few differences between these phones, other than the size.
I gotcha. So yeah, DirectTech is thinking that the 2200 is going to be a disaster. I'm curious to see how it performs too, because most of the world, that's what they're going to get.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting, so I hope not.
Oh yeah, in Australia, you guys get the Exynos as well?
Yeah, the only Snapdragon versions of the S series phones we get are the FE phones, but every other one's just the
Okay.
Exynos. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know they designed the Exynos 2200 with AMD, so they're trying to bring ray tracing to mobile devices, which...
Oh, wow.
We're going to have to see, but I'm
Yeah.
I'm holding hope out for it, but like at the same time, it all comes down to like what kind of games support it, because if it's like some niche title no one's heard of, like then it's not exactly going to have like a massive influence on mobile gaming, if that makes sense.
I was gonna write a full 1,000 word rant about like why this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
Just the Exynos or just the phones in general?
The Exynos. Well, I guess bringing ray tracing to the mobile world in general.
I mean, no one asked for
Like,
it.
there are
So,
so
like,
many factors.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't care. I'm playing PUBG Mobile. I don't care about the reflection.
Okay, what's good, bro? I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm going to say one thing though. I do like the design of the S22 and S22 Plus over the S22.
Yeah, I always like
Don't
those like
the
slightly
design
better.
of the Ultra.
Yeah,
I
I always like the designs on those slightly better, especially because they have more colors usually.
Yeah,
Like they
and
have the
also,
coolest colors.
yeah,
I like the
if
Ultra, to
I'm-
be honest.
If I'm not mistaken, the display on the S22 and S22 Plus are flat this time around, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
See,
yeah.
See, I wish the Ultra would also have a flat display because it has the S Pen support. I feel like because you're writing on the display, like having a curve on the display makes less sense. It's a big display, so it's not exactly the worst thing in the world. But I think if I'm not mistaken, the curve radius on the S22 Ultra is kind of like the radius we got on the Note 8, like kind of on the Note 10, I think, which had a fairly steep curve radius to the screen. So that's more curved than the S21 Ultra, which had a very subtle curve to it. So I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of curved displays in general.
I got you. Patar from DirectTech said instead of focusing on graphics, they should sort of do an Exynos fabrication, quality, and performance. And I think we all agree here, ray tracing is totally unnecessary and frankly a gimmick for mobile gaming.
Exactly.
Like, who takes mobile gaming that seriously? Like, I mean, there may be like probably 100 like competitive mobile gamers in the world, but it's kind of insane.
I think it's more just like a buzzword just to say, hey, this is what Samsung can do with their chips.
See, there is one situation I can see that Samsung could make like a killing off ray tracing on mobile, which is their Samsung Dex. Imagine like connecting your phone to a monitor and then using ray tracing like on a big monitor with a keyboard and mouse. Like
That's a good
pretty
point.
Sick. That would be amazing if they actually managed to pull
That
that off
would.
somehow. Like that would be game changing, literally, because like, you know, instead of having a gaming PC, literally just have a phone for like the casual gamer. Like that's literally all they need, right? Plug it up to a big display, play some COD Mobile, PUBG Mobile with ray tracing, like 27-inch display. Looks insane.
I think that'd be great, actually.
Yeah, but like we'll have to see how they if they even consider doing that.
Yep, I gotcha. Yeah, again, the prices, I'm really glad they brought those prices down because that was 100% necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one I think we're going to have fun talking about. One of my good friends tweeted the other day. Ramal tweeted, Samsung's budget / mid-range smartphones are either lacking in features compared to the competition or just generally crappy devices. Personally, if I was looking for a budget mid-range Android phone, Samsung is the last brand that I would consider.
Yes.
I know you said you're really into budget phone, Arthur, so how do you feel about that statement?
I think honestly, yeah, I do agree because, like a couple years ago, this is one thing that stood out to me. A couple years ago, there's a competition between like a mid-range LG phone and I think I think it was a blue phone, and it was like LG was the bigger company, so when they made their mid-range phones, it was like, here's just this throwaway phone you can put. Let's put 32 gigs of storage in it. Let's put 2 gigs of RAM or whatever. But the blue phone was like, we live in the mid-range space, so we're gonna make a phone that's a lot better than most mid-rangers. So I think Samsung, and so that one had like, I think like 6 gigs RAM, 64 gig storage, better display and everything. So I think that like Samsung is big enough so that they can put more focus in their more expensive phones, and then just sort of leave their mid-range phones to rot. And that's, yeah, and that's where other companies.
I agree 100%. Like their mid-range phones, they look nice. That's about it. Like literally everything else is like mediocre at best. Like their A72 had a Snapdragon 720 in it, and they wanted to charge like $500 for it. Like, what is that? Like the Google Pixel, what was that? The 485G had a 765G and was cheaper than that. Like that's insane.
Yeah,
I mean, like going off what Arthur said before, like Samsung focuses more on the S series, and they don't need to focus as much on the budget phones because people are going to buy them regardless. Because people see Samsung in the store, they trust the name more than like, you know, seeing like Realme or Oppo or whatever. But like at the same time, it's like the thing about Samsung budget phones is that like they generally just tend to be, it's not even that they're bad value, they tend to be like objectively worse than the competition, which I get, which is crazy because like,
yeah, it's always like a gap. It's a huge gap.
It's a huge
in
gap,
value.
and like, yeah, and it's just, I think there's a tech TikToker, Parker Burton, who
I know who you're talking about,
who I'm friends with. He got a Samsung A12 recently just to mess around with it. And it's a good phone. Like it works. It's a good phone, right? It works. It's $180 US, but it's got 4 cameras on the back, and like 3 of them are useless. No, 2 of them are useless. One of them's like a bad ultra wide, and one of them's like a 48 megapixel, like, you know, main camera, which is only the only reason it's in there is because it's a big number. People at that budget price point like to see big numbers. But like if they like the thing with, I think this is just more of a rant on budget Android phones in general, especially for the cameras. If they just focus on one good main camera instead of like throwing in like arbitrary sensors and like things
and
that it's just not
and it's always been like that.
It has.
I don't know. I want to say like brands like Xiaomi started that, where they would like the Redmi Note series and different categories like that. They would have like, they're like the first budget phones to have like 3 cameras and everything on there. Like the, what was it? The depth sensor, like something most people don't even use. And the macro camera, that was usually terrible. I definitely think Xiaomi started that.
The main camera.
I think with the depth sensor, I think it was Honor. I think it was Honor Honor X, something like that.
Yeah. They called it a time of flight sensor, I think. I think they're the people who started that phrase, I'm pretty sure. I'm not too sure about that.
Okay, Big House, what are our thoughts on the M line? Do you guys get the M line in Australia, Ramal?
We get the A line, and that's about it.
Okay, yeah, we don't get the
M1.
M line really here. I know the M line is huge in India, like it's huge over there.
I think
Um,
it's mainly made for like the South Asian market. The M line. I think it's
yeah,
more of the focus on that.
yeah, I agree. I know Big House picks up like literally everything, so I know he had one, and he said the battery was like insane on it because it had like
Oh no,
crazy
they're the
battery
phones with
specs.
like the ridiculously big battery cells, right? I've heard about them, like
Yeah,
like 5, like 6, 7,000
yeah,
milliamp hour batteries.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So yeah, back to the budget phone talk. Like in the U.S., I really wish more people were open to buying from just like international, just buying internationally in general because
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like the phones that like I honestly want to get. I really want to get another Xiaomi device. Like I had the Poco X3 Pro. That was like one of my favorite phones I've ever had. I only got it for like $300. Amazing phone, amazing quality. It had like a Snapdragon 750 in there. Like the things that like the Asian market can do to like knock down the price on their phones is just insane to me.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that in the US at all.
No, it's like such a dichotomy of like Apple, Samsung. Like it's so
Exactly.
like bland in like most Western markets.
Yeah, and like
But
no
I
one
think
else even tries. Like the other brands
yeah,
in the US, they don't make good value devices. Like they make budget
Samsung,
devices,
yeah,
but they aren't
that are
like
good.
they aren't a good value at all.
Yeah, they get
Exactly.
stuck in this pit like Motorola is now. It's like they're trying to make some more expensive devices, but we don't see them around to see the cheapo.
Yeah, exactly. Like I love Motorola devices. Like Motorola is my favorite UI. That's why. Like you can like debate me. I really think they have like one of the best UIs, like top 3 UI in smartphones,
Yeah. The
just
Moto
because of
X was
like
one
all
of
the
my
features.
favorite Android phones of like back in the day. The Moto X, such a good phone.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Okay, let me get to some of these comments. The M line had a huge quality lifespan issue. I didn't know about that one. The motherboards were breaking inside a year on a large scale. That's crazy.
Oof.
And 7,000 milliamp.
That is
That's
insane.
insane. Like, what are you gonna do? That's like a 3 times a. That's like a every charge every 3 days, basically.
That's like 17 iPhone SEs. It's a lot.
That's crazy.
I would like that. I like that on the like a flagship phone.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
So let me see. We have another article up.
It is such a pity though, like that in Western markets we see no competition because in Australia, like even like budget phones, like they're usually sold at like the dodgiest stores. Like you can't get them like mainstream.
Yeah, that's how it
It's
is
like
here.
yeah.
Like, that's how it is here. Like here we have like carriers that we call MVMOs. I don't know if you have the same thing in Australia, but they're basically like smaller carriers that piggyback off of the
Oh
networks of the
yeah,
big
yeah.
carriers like Verizon and AT&T and T and
Hmm.
T-Mobile, and they like almost like exclusively sell like those Motorola, those Blue, those
Yeah.
those budget phones, the Samsung A devices, and then the big carriers like they don't even care about them. Like they have deals on them every once in a while,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's kind of interesting how that works.
Yeah, there is something that I usually tell people when like they ask me about phones that cost under $200, and I always tell them try not to get a brand new like phone for under $200. Like if you spend $50 more, you're literally getting like a twice better phone. Like just for, like for like I get that like everyone has their budget, but like literally waiting a bit, saving a bit more money will get you such a better experience in the long term. It's not even funny like how much better spending $50, $60 more on a phone can get you in that ultra budget price segment.
Yeah, and I
Exactly.
agree. Like I always suggest buying older flagships when people ask
Mm.
me.
Yeah.
Like back in the day when like LG was like still decent, LG devices would plummet in price like 100, like worse than Samsung. Like the devices, like those
I
devices would
remember that.
drop. I would always suggest like a last generation LG device because it will be like $300, $400 with last year's processor. So why do that? Like why buy like a new budget phone with that's gonna like perform less, has worse cameras, and a worse
Exactly.
screen? Like, yeah, it's insane what people do now.
And
But
usually
there's a
the
market
flagships
for it,
get
which is
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I
Usually,
did that.
sorry. Yeah.
Oh, go on.
No, it's okay. You go on. I'll go on
Okay.
after.
I just said I did that because like soon after LG went out of the phone business, the prices for their phones plummeted and like more than 50%. And so I went and paid for an LG Wing. I got an LG Velvet in the mail by mistake, so I just accepted a partial discount. But yeah, like I never would have spent the $1,000 for an LG Wing.
Yeah.
So
And now they're like $300, $400. There's a guy I talked to on Twitter named Jason. He like just bought one for $350 or something like that, which is
Damn.
absolutely insane.
it is such a great phone.
Especially yeah, especially with like a folding phone. Basically, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So are you so you're picking up the S22 Ultra, right, Ramal? Or
That is
are you
the
planning
plan
on it?
if I can get one on if I can get one on launch day. It also depends on availability as well. But I'm gonna like, when I don't remember how Samsung manages their pre-orders. I'm not sure if their pre-orders start as soon as the event is over. Like I'm not, I don't exactly.
Well,
remember
they
how
did it
works.
differently this year. You're
Yeah.
able to reserve before you actually before
Yeah, that's not a
before they
thing in
did the
Australia,
pre-order.
though. I checked.
Oh,
I wish it
okay.
was a thing. It's not a thing in Australia. So it's. Did you guys see like? I'm just worried about availability because of the chip shortage. Because I think there was like a survey done where I think I don't remember who the publisher was, but they said that 1 in 5 Android users were thinking of upgrading to the S22 Ultra. Like that's huge.
1 in 5.
Yeah, 1 in
That's a
5.
lot.
Gigantic.
Yeah. So
That's a lot.
availability is going to be a pain. It's going to be a pain.
I think it might affect it because Samsung has been pushing, just like according to sources, Samsung has been pushing has been delaying the launch of these phones due to like, well, basically they said that they plan to sell a bunch, and they don't want to run out of supply. But you can kind of guess it's like, okay, they're probably going to run out due to the chip shortage, so they don't want to. It's like they'd rather have people wait for a phone to launch than have people order now and then wait 3 months for it to become available.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing John Prosser said that was interesting. He said that they're gonna do pre-order for all of the devices, but the Ultra was gonna be shipped out 2 weeks before the S22 and the S22 Plus because of I don't know. They're just prioritizing the Ultra
I don't
at this
understand
point.
that personally. Because if there was a chip shortage on like the more if the phone that was going to sell more it needs to be in better supply, I would imagine they make it available after the normal ones. But like I don't know. I don't run this. So I don't know. But like that's what I would think. But we'd have to see about that.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting how they're doing that because it's usually like all at once, and it's so weird. The S22 Ultra is such a hot topic that literally no one is talking about the tablets. Like literally no one. Like I don't see any Twitter posts like about the tablet. I might probably see just Mark's Tech just talk about it because he just bought
all the posts seems to be just memes about how bad Android tablets are.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me.
Ultra.
Yeah, and that's something that probably I'm interested in, especially if Luma Fusion is coming to Android soon. So
I'm actually more excited about the tablets. Than the Galaxy S phones. And
yeah, I don't know too much about Samsung tablets, so I'd love to hear what you're excited about because Samsung makes like their tablet hardware is incredible, but like they're always hampered by their software. The way I see it.
Like Samsung is one of the only companies that are like that have been supporting their tablets with like feature grade tablets. It's been mostly just them and Apple. And the thing about the tablets is just like they are expensive but they are super duper like they're powerful. And yeah, I agree their software because it's like it's been an issue with Android tablets since the get-go. Just like really bad software. But I am interested because I just want to see where if you're gonna get an Android tablet, you know, you're gonna go with Samsung because Samsung does put the most work into their tablets. So I'm just wanting to see like where they're going with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with the software thing. I've always felt like Samsung had an advantage in terms of software. Maybe not stability, maybe not smoothness, but in terms of
Like in terms of
features,
features. Yeah.
I've always felt like just by watching videos. Like I haven't like owned a Samsung tablet before, but just by watching videos, you could tell like the functionality is there. Like for a tablet, like it's definitely a better tablet OS than iPad OS, and even all of the other Android tablets out right now because it's just like so heavily skinned and they just added like so many like tablet features to it. And honestly, like a big screen and big screen support, Android's always been better than iOS, honestly. So,
See, there is something I've always like. I completely agree with that. Like Samsung tablet features are great, and it's like the best tablet would be like a tablet with Samsung like the tablet UI and tablet features with the expansive like the app catalog of the iPad.
mhm.
Put them into one, you have like the perfect tablet. But like
Mhm.
they're just two ends of like this weird like market of like tablets because the iPad has such a strong like chokehold that like even people who have Android phones they usually don't think twice about just getting an iPad because like they just can't deal with Android tablets and like the little idiosyncrasies.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
it's such a
exactly.
shame because Apple has such a monopoly on the tablets. It's not even funny.
It does.
And I
I,
feel like Apple could be so much better. They're just so limited in their
Exactly.
software. Like
Mm.
they by far like kill the ecosystem game better than any other company ever has. Like I will stand by AirDrop until I die. Just
Yes,
like it's insane.
it is. I mean, like
yeah.
AirDrop. Yeah, sorry.
Go on. I was just gonna vamp.
I was just gonna say, like, me, there are there are great alternatives to AirDrop, but like most companies just don't like promote it. Like Samsung doesn't promote like half the features in their phones and tablets, so people just
Exactly.
don't know about them. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I haven't like that's crazy because like I'm a techie and I still don't like know of a Samsung way to do AirDrop. Basically, like nearby share. Is that is that what you're referring to?
that's
Or
like AirDrop for Android phones, but like there was like I mean. I discover new things about like not Android phones, but like Samsung phones like every other week.
uh
I'm like, wait, they can do that? Like, I never
yeah, they
knew.
have
Like, it's just
so many features.
yeah,
Yeah, I think Samsung has to pull like so many strings just because like if Samsung has to go through Android, so they don't
yeah.
control 100% of the software. Unfortunately, I would love to see like
Hmm.
Samsung's ecosystem fully realized.
Yeah, and I think their partnerships with Microsoft is what's gonna like
Mm.
it's what's gonna like really like gonna open that up for everything, honestly, because I
Yeah.
feel like their partnership is stronger than like what we're seeing right now.
Mm.
Like at first we got Game Pass, we saw like you could do that on a Samsung. I just feel like they're really going with Microsoft right now. But before I say anything else, I'd definitely like to bring up my man Delvon Digital. How you
Oh,
doing,
oh,
bro?
hey, oh, I'm live. Hey, what's up, fellas? What's going on, man?
Nothing much,
I
man.
ain't got long to be up here though. I promised my girl I wouldn't be up here all night. She be
Oh
tripping
yeah, we're
sometimes.
not. Yeah, we're not staying long. We probably got another 30 minutes or so. So
Okay, cool.
yeah, we've just been talking about mainly Samsung. This has been a very
Yeah.
Samsung centric stream so far. We talked
Okay.
about the new prices that dropped recently. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I did.
How do you feel about that?
Uh, I'm on the end of like the consumers and stuff with when it comes to the prices that's that high.
Hmm.
Most people are just going to just do payments for 2 years on them. So, you know,
Right.
it's not really a big deal if you really think about it, because if
Hmm.
you walked into a store and somebody said, "Hey, man, you could walk out with this phone right now if you just give us like $40 or $80, or you could spend $1,200 on this phone." More than likely, you're like, $40, I could save myself a whole lot of money, right? So I
Right.
mean, theoretically, that's what's going to happen. I just can't get upset about it. It's just hard because I know that we're us, tech people. We might drop our money on it, like the whole amount, and go get a phone. To us, that's expensive.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, right, right.
But to somebody who's making payments on it, it's not really expensive. It's I don't know. I want
That's
to be
a
mad about it, but I can't.
Yeah, that's a very solid point. But yeah, they're basically putting it at the price of the what the S21 was, which I think is interesting and way better than going over for like less RAM. So
Yeah.
really glad they did that. Another thing that we talked about tonight was just like budget phones in general. Just how like the competition is so limited in the US. And how Samsung is basically dominating the mid
Samsung's the
range.
only one.
Yeah, Samsung
Only
is
one.
dominating the mid range here. It's like literally like as a techie, I know why, but I don't know why because there are so many devices that outclass or even should be just in consideration
Yeah.
for just like better phones in the budget
It's funny
category
because
or
like
mid
in the
range.
mid-range category in Western markets, Samsung's kind of like the status symbol of like mid-range. It's kind of like how people say Apple is the status symbol of
Right.
the flagships. Samsung's like the status symbol of the mid-range. It's like the brand everyone knows. So like
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
can trust it. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny.
That is so true. I see more people with mid-range Samsung phones than I actually do flagships. And then when I do see the people with the flagships, they got the best of the best flagships too.
Exactly.
You know,
There's like
like
no
flips
space
and-
for like the
Yeah,
there's no
in
space for
between.
like the base S22 or the S22 Plus.
None at all. You either go mid-range or you go all-out flagship. So yeah, that's
for
all I've
sure.
seen.
Want to shout out Mike for the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. He's putting the baby to sleep tonight. He was gonna be on tonight, but babies will be babies.
Yeah, you can't do nothing about that, man.
Exactly.
My son is growing. I ain't trying to deal with no more babies.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
Yep, he said he's riding solo tonight with baby girl, but he said he'll be on next week. And I'm telling you, we got a big stream next week. I'm just gonna say that I got a huge supporter coming through next week, a huge YouTuber. So I'm
Nice.
really excited for that. So yeah, what else did we talk about? We talked about nothing, Delvon. We talked about nothing, the brand.
Ain't nothing.
I just thought about it like as I was saying it. I just thought about it. That sounded terrible. But yeah, we talked about the brand Nothing. They're coming out with 4 new devices. We don't know what it is yet, but I'm hoping we see a
Oh.
phone. I'm hoping we see a phone and a smartwatch. I think like that transparent type smartwatch will be so dope. And
I don't know
hopefully
why
we
no
see
other
it.
company's done that yet. That's ridiculous.
Like the
Man.
Casios were like some of the cleanest looking watches, like that clear like Casio style
Transparent
watch.
watches in general are just they look sick. Like seeing like
Yeah,
all
they
the
do.
They're
little
insane.
details. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
That could definitely be Nothing's thing. Make
Yeah.
everything transparent.
Oh yeah, they set the standard because nobody else is doing it. I mean, I've been wanting like a transparent phone for the longest. I've been thinking about like scraping the freaking stuff off my phone, but I don't want to mess it up. I'm like, why can't we get that? You know, we got to buy the D-brand skin, which ain't the same thing. You know,
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I really wish. I wish we just had more options in general with phones. You know.
Yeah, I do too. Especially like I wish more people were open to just trying out like the international phones, like out of the Asian market and everything. Like Xiaomi makes some dope devices, and I feel like their budget phones like range supreme. Like out of everything, I don't care what anyone says. Like
Yeah, I think
they make the
they're
best budget
basically
phones
like
in
the
my opinion.
Chinese Samsung, like that they kill it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
kill it.
India and China, they sell like crazy over there, but us Westerners are just not open to it at all.
I mean,
Man,
it's
it's
funny
not
because,
even
like,
just-
if more.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
keep going. Yeah.
You got it.
Oh no, I was just saying like if more people in Western markets like open their eyes to these companies, they would feel invited to like come to these markets, right? Because like the amount of choice we have is abysmally small, and it's just it's so sad. Like as techies, we're like, why can't we get this? It's like better, and I want it, but like importing it will cost more than getting like the alternative. It's just so it pains me so much.
Oh well, you nailed it. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the problem because they're not here. We don't, you know, a lot of us don't care. You know, I would never like try to go out and get one myself personally because of
Right.
the so much trouble I got to go through to get it here.
Exactly.
So I just don't test it. So it's just for me when it comes to phones, it's pretty much Samsung, Apple, and
Google.
That's
Yeah.
that's
We
it.
gotta get you a Motorola, Delvon.
I haven't tried a Motorola in years. I don't know, man.
Man,
I'm
I've
curious about trying OnePlus again this year, though.
oh yeah, the
So
10. You thinking about
yeah,
the 10 Pro?
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, only
OnePlus
because
is like I don't know what's going on with OnePlus. They're
yeah,
going through something.
I don't
Yeah.
know, man. Menopause or something. Who knows? But but I know that a lot of people were really talking big about the 7 Pro, so it kind of struck my curiosity. They was like that was like their last best phone
Oh,
or
that's their
something like
peak
that.
phone
So
Yeah,
easily.
that's
yeah,
peak OnePlus. Yeah.
yeah. See, y'all saying it too.
Like
So
it was so
same
good. That
stuff.
was MKBHD's phone of the year that year. Like that
Yeah.
was a good phone.
Oh
That was
wow.
such a good phone.
It's like how could you peak so well and then just go downhill from there? Like it's like they literally had like the perfect Android phone. Like they had like the
Yeah,
perfect
I'm so
recipe.
mad I'm
Yeah.
so mad they took the all screen design out because like no one
Yeah.
did it after that. Like
It's
I'm
not even
so
all
mad
screen
they took
design.
that
It's
off their
like the
phone.
price to like performance to value to
Yeah,
everything.
and as the father passed the
I'm sorry,
stone to
bro. Sorry, I'm drawing, but I don't know why my music just went off. I don't know. I don't know. I'm in
Is
my
that a
drawing app.
Samsung tablet you got there?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I don't know, man. I was on Spotify when I don't know. I don't know, bro. But
Oh
I'm
no, you're
literally
good,
look,
bro.
literally just on the app itself. Like I don't know. So
Wait, can I just say in person? I've seen your art on Twitter. It is
yeah.
insane.
Thanks.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
always like a blessing to see your stuff on my feed.
Oh, I
So good.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my zen when I'm up here. Oh, I did a screenshot. This is my zen, man. I get
Yeah,
up here
not
and
even
draw when I'm
just
stressed
drawing,
out.
just like photographs and everything in general. Like
Artistically.
Yeah.
his page is crazy.
Yeah.
Somebody just inspired me to. He asked me. He said, "Hey, man, do you have like a Google folder where all your pictures are at?" You know, he was talking about like my smartphone photography, and I was like, "Nah, I don't." I said, "I should make one. I think people might like it, you know." And I just throw my pictures in there or something like that. So I might end up. Well, I actually did make the folder, so I just got to get some. Hey,
It's
that's me,
crazy.
baby. That's what I'm working on right now. I'm trying to get her done as soon as I find. This was from Pitar. He wanted me to draw her, and I love her, so I said, okay, I'll do it. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna make a Google folder, and I'm gonna throw all my like photography inside there. That's from my smartphones or whatever. Most of these are will be edit because I mean obviously my photography, right? So I want to show people the best you can get out of a phone camera because I feel like when it comes to this smartphone photography, a lot of people just like to like point and shoot and just call it a day. But you know, in real life, if you're a photographer, you don't charge a client $200-300, shoot the pictures, and then give them the pictures after the photo shoot. You know, there's a
Right.
process. There's a
Yeah.
process that you go through. You know, you're gonna edit the photos. You're gonna make sure that they're, up to par. And everybody has an editing style. So, you're gonna edit. They came to you because of your style.
I mean,
So
usually, exactly like when people pay for photo shoots, they don't pay for the photos; they pay for like the artistic direction of the
there
person
you
taking
go.
the photos and the
There
editing.
you go.
Like, it's such an it is photography is like it's something I love. It's like it's one of my favorite art forms because like it's accessible to everyone, and it's
Yeah.
just there's something like just so magical about still photography.
So
It's
what
Yeah.
is
exceptional.
this device that you're drawing on here?
That right there is I draw on anything I can get my hands on. I'm gonna be honest with you. That is the Surface. I think that's my Surface Book. Actually, no, that is my
Oh,
Surface Pro. Yeah, that's my Surface
Okay.
Pro right there.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my 6 at the time or 7 is one of them. I don't know, but I got too many devices. But yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like that device too much drawing, but it got the job done. I just wanted to see if you can do it, but it's just that refresh rate. When I had the iPad and then got the
hmm
S7 Plus, the refresh that 120 makes a big difference in art, big difference. So
Okay.
Yeah,
I kind
That
of
makes
clinged on to
sense.
that stuff. Yeah,
and the
I
pen
just turned it
latency
to
as
art.
well. That is
Oh,
also
oh
really
man,
good. Yeah.
you know what, man? Look, Samsung. I made a post, and Samsung said the latency on the S7 Plus was like 6.2, right? I thought it was
hmm
9. I'm not sure. I still don't. I'm not sure. Because the iPad is 9 and this is 9. Of course, a lot of people were like saying that the latency better on iPad, blah blah blah. But Samsung and Apple has the same exact latency. But then Samsung made a
Okay.
post and showed the latency on the S7 Plus, and it says 6.2. And then on the new tablets that's supposed to be coming out, they got it down to 2.8 or 6.
Yeah.
So I was pretty shocked about that. Not really them improving the latency, obviously, right? You might want to do that every generation. It was just that I thought that I was using 9 the whole entire time.
Okay.
So
So
I'm
we're
not
just
sure.
gonna answer this question. Do you have a YouTube channel yet, Arthur?
Oh no, not yet. I'm still getting my setup and everything set up.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to blocking the echoes and everything.
Hmm.
But I can give my Twitter. It's pretty simple. It's just Arthur Brown 91.
Arthur Brown.
That's simple.
Arthur Brown 91. Okay, and we actually were talking about this earlier, Delvine. We were talking about just like why so many people call Samsung tablets trash or whatever. Are you interested in the S8 Ultra, or are you sticking with your S7 Plus and S7?
For sure. He said, "Yeah, I do got both. For sure, I'm going to upgrade. Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to upgrade
And
one of
why?
these. And the only reason why is because I feel like this was like the beginning tablet of Samsung when tablets got good, and I feel like they looked at how well this one did, and everything that's going to be in the second generation would be like, I don't want to say generation because there's a lot of them, but I just feel like this is the first generation to me. At
Okay.
least 120 hertz and up. So at this point, I feel like the improvements that they're going to make is going to be really good. And then after that, I'll probably just keep the S8, or well, let me answer this question real quick. Yes, I'm interested in the Ultra, but the only buying purchase for that is if it's still kind of portable when I go check it out in the store. If not, I would just get the 8 Plus and stick with that. Upgrade the 7 Plus to the 8 Plus and go with that. So it depends on the portability because this 12.4 is perfect. So other than that, I'll probably just keep
I keep
the
forgetting
tablets.
that the S8 Ultra is like massive. It's like 14 inches. It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
That's kind of like laptop territory. So I'm not like I already have an issue like trying to type with this, even like this and stuff like that. And I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like I gotta use the keyboard when I'm typing, and I don't want to feel like that with a tablet all the time. So, but as far as like carrying it around, watching movies, listening to music, doing everything else, it's perfect size for that. It's just really the typing experience is not great without a keyboard.
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
I think for
yeah.
me, the Tab S8 Plus would be like the sweet spot because I think 11 will be a bit too small, and I think the 12.6 inch will be a bit perfect because if I'm going to be using it, it's mostly going to be like watching videos and typing on it.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be the perfect plus with the AMOLED display.
Yeah. I mean, that's me. I mean, I pretty much type. I mean, well, not type. I pretty much watch movies, draw. That's about it. Anything else is like, let me do this because I ain't got my laptop with me. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had actually thought like heavily about the S8 Ultra because I just like
Mhm.
big phones. I like big tablets. I'm a big
Makes sense.
fan of screen real estate.
Yeah.
But
same.
I found out about Sidecar, and it's gonna be a minute.
Mhm.
Sidecar is so clutch. Like
Mhm.
I love it. I love it, and just
I love
different
Sidecar
things
as well.
like that are keeping me on my iPad right now, and
I use it
AirDrop
surprisingly
mainly.
often. Like you take literally like you take your iPad with you. You literally have like a multiple monitor setup, like literally wherever you go. Like it's insane.
Yeah, it's
Like,
insane, bro. It's
That's
the
crazy.
latency
insane.
is like nothing. Like it's surprising how little the latency is.
And it's crazy because that feature it varies by person because obviously I've used Sidecar probably twice just to see how
Hmm.
well it worked.
Yeah.
It was good. It doesn't work in my flow. It doesn't work. I don't care about multiple
I
screens.
understand that.
Like I don't
Yeah.
even have multiple screens hooked up on my computer at the moment. So, and then I also did it with my Samsung tablet. I connected it to the Windows machine to do Sidecar because you could do it with Windows
You can
and
do
your
it.
Samsung tablet.
Yeah.
So I did the same thing. Did a video on Twitter to show everybody that it can do it. People was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. That's like Sidecar." It's like, yeah, it's exactly like Sidecar. And it's like how everybody started asking me questions about latency and all this stuff like that. And I was like, it's spot on, but
Hmm.
just not for me. And I get it why
Yeah.
a lot of people like Sidecar because he's right. You got like a extra screen walking around with you, anytime you need it.
Yeah.
But it just
Exactly.
really depends on your workflow. I mean, it don't work for me. I
Yeah,
for the
I'm the
future though.
opposite. I like using as many monitors as possible when I work. So
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm a single monitor person at home. Oh, that way at home, but like when I'm on the go, I like having the multiple. It's like the opposite. I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me on the go, I'm single screen, but like at home, I double
Mhm.
screen.
You double screen.
Yeah.
What do you do on both of those screens? Like, what are they for?
Oh yeah, for me since I write, so the first screen I have is what I'm working on, and then the second
Mhm.
screen is the source that I'm reading, or like or the extra articles that I have to link to. And I
Mhm.
don't like going through tabs. I can just write and then look over, write and look over. So it just
Okay.
saves a bit of stress for me. Well, not stress. It just
Oh,
makes things a little bit easier.
Got you.
Or I
Yeah,
have like a YouTube video on.
Okay.
yeah. Right now, I'm using three. I keep my laptop screen in the middle. That's like my chat screen. That's where I answer like Slack messages. That's where I do all of my emails, and things like that. iMessage and things like that. And then to the left, that's like my huge like 27-inch monitor. I use
Mhm.
that for like my actual work. That's where I like I do software support. So that's where I do like all of my case notes and research and everything else. And then to the right on my iPad, that's like strictly for like music and things like that, Twitter, things like that. So that's how I use my
No.
three screens usually.
Yeah, for me actually
Okay.
with Sidecar, like because where I work, like I work do like like finance accounting stuff, and like around the office, I don't sit in one spot. I go around everywhere. So like having
Yeah.
like two monitors for like spreadsheets and emails, like at the same time, it comes in so clutch because I'm just like literally walking around the office with my MacBook and my iPad, and like set up at one table, move to another table, set it up again, have the same setup with the same windows and same everything. It's like for a mobile. I'm just gonna say this right now. For like for an ecosystem based mobile workflow, MacBook plus
Mhm.
iPad Sidecar, it comes in so clutch. Like
Yeah.
I can't imagine not having it at this point. Like it's just become a part of like my workflow, like irreplaceable.
So yeah, I'm actually on my first MacBook, and
Mhm.
I really thought I would stay like a Windows fan because most
Mhm.
people like automatically like associate Windows with Android and
Yeah.
iPhone with Mac or whatever.
Mac, yeah.
And I'm definitely an Android user, but I love Mac OS like a million times more than Windows. Just all of like it's just like little things. I do all of my recording using
Mhm.
OBS, because I just prefer like USB microphones over shotgun mics on my camera or whatever. So I
Yeah.
connect my camera and I connect my microphone to OBS, and just like even like the file saving, it's so much easier and smoother on Mac OS than it is Windows. Like the Windows, it has to be like a certain type, or the default movie player won't play it, and it's just a lot of things that you have to get around in Windows. I mean, they have like a million apps that you could download, but I just think Apple does some things better, especially when it comes to creation.
Yeah,
And
they
then
do have the MacBook
AirDrop
Air,
is
right? They
just
have
And you know
clutch.
that's very interesting because I find Mac to be the opposite. When I switched over to my MacBook and switched over to the M1, well, let me not say switched over because I still have Windows pretty much in this house. I do both.
Okay.
Um, I just know that with Windows, things are so much easier for me being an Android user, mainly Android
Hmm.
user. But then again, like I said before, I've been carrying an iPhone and Android beside each other for like over 20 years now, or 10 years, not 20, sorry, 10 years. So I'm both. I'm users of both. But either way, long story short, that Windows is a lot easier and simple for what I've been doing all my life. So but I do love Mac OS. I got into Final Cut, and that's what drew me into staying with Mac. Is I fell in love with Final Cut. Um, the other programs that I have, let me put it like this: Final Cut is easy. Let me just put it like
Hmm.
that. I see why people like it. It's easy. Once you kind of learn it, it's easy. Let's just put it like that because it's not your traditional editing
Exactly.
app. It's so once you learn it, it's easy and it does a lot of things for you automatically that you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about doing. When I use my other ones, I'm doing everything manually, which is fine because I think that's the best way to learn. If you're going to be professional, you need to learn a professional program manually. Then after that, I get up on Final Cut and just like, oh yeah, just click this and it does this. Oh, I just click this and do this and do this. It just makes everything so much better. So I kind of like
Are
fell
you a
in love
fan
with
of the
it.
magnetic timeline in Final Cut?
I'm not. That's the thing I hate the most. I hate that
That's the thing I
crap.
love the
Oh
most
yeah.
about Final Cut.
You love
I
that?
love it.
I
I love it because
hate.
like
Oh
editing short videos, it's like snip, delete,
my,
snip, delete, snip, delete. Like it's just
oh
so
my
I can
god,
I've got it down to like two fingers. Like snip. It's so
bro.
fast. I love it.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, man. No, that's
yeah,
that's my most hated thing about it, but I'm learning it and getting better at it, I guess. I guess because I'm so used to using like Adobe and Vegas and other
yeah.
programs where I
Yeah.
can control where I want to put my piece at versus the thing just
Exactly.
snapping over there. I'm like, oh my God, bro, why you snapping? And then to like
Yeah.
delete stuff, you can't right click and delete. You gotta highlight it and hit the delete button. I'm like, oh my God. So the learning curve was a mess for me. But once I got through it, it was a lot better. But
Yep.
um My biggest thing though is just that connecting my Android phone to Mac is a nightmare. It's a lot better with Windows. That's like one of the biggest things, you know. So now I just take my SD card out of my tablet, connect there, put music and movies up there, and then put it back in. That's my biggest workaround. And using like AirDroid and other stuff is
Yeah.
pretty much how I do it
So
now.
does the Tab series still has SD card readers
Yeah, yeah, I believe they're gonna
Interesting.
keep these. Yeah, I believe they're gonna keep
in the
these. I hope
tablets?
they do.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I mean, that would make sense because it can be like a really good like content consumption and like content device in general. So I could see them keeping that as well.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And the only
Actually,
only
though,
reason I
yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, no, I'll finish your thought. I've just got a completely different thought, but yeah, finish it.
Oh, okay. The only
Yeah.
reason why I crossed over to the S Tab 8 is because, as, sorry, I just finished eating dinner. As I was using my iPad over the years, I started to realize exactly what I do on my tablet. And I don't do anything that an iPad can't do. And I don't do
Mhm.
anything that the Galaxy Tab S do on the iPad. So, and all the power that everybody gloats about on the iPad, I don't see it. I don't feel it. It's just apps. So I
Yeah.
don't feel like it's that necessary. So what drove me to the Tab S7 Plus was not any of the speed, the app support, the hardware,
Hmm.
none of that. It was literally this pen right here. Literally the only thing. This is more comfortable than the Apple Pencil for me. And I'm not speaking for everybody else. Everybody like that premium feel. I appreciate the premium feel of that pen. But this right here was my deciding factor. I love the tip better. It's light. I don't need to charge it. So I don't have to worry about stopping in the middle of my drawings to, charge the pen and then
Yeah.
go back to drawing. Whether it's either what they say, 5 minutes give you 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Even that, I don't want to stop drawing to charge something. So just this deciding factor is what pulled me away from the iPad, despite of everything else that it does. I'm not a person who's really um I want to say bottleneck down into the ecosystem. I might have all
Uh
the
huh.
products, but I don't use all the features. So
Oh yeah, I know you
yeah,
literally have everything. So.
yeah. So I just don't use the features. I can't like if the feature don't fit into my life naturally where I don't have to think about it, then I don't need to be using it. And like the only thing that fits naturally right now, Apple's ecosystem to me is literally the switching of the headphones from one computer to the phone and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Mhm.
natural, right? And then
Right.
I use AirDrop, which is very natural to me. And then getting your text messages on the computers and stuff like that. All of that is just natural. Everything else they offer, I gotta be like, oh yeah, that's right. I could set the screen up on the side like a sidecar. I
Uh
gotta think
huh.
about that. That's what I gotta think about. I gotta be like, oh yeah, let me put this over here and then do this. And do I want to do this and do that? I'm like, I'm just gonna put a movie on my iPad and edit my photos.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
but yeah, that's just how I feel about that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got you.
Um, yeah. Before Galen, you were talking about using OBS on your Mac, and
Uh huh.
that actually made me think about like when it comes to streaming. I don't know what. I feel like not Mac OS, but like the new Apple Silicon MacBooks are so good because there is zero fan noise. Like it's just a blessing for streaming. I
Oh
found.
yeah.
Because I'm using a 16-inch MacBook Pro right now. I'm using that right now. The fans have not come on once, and I love that because when I had the Intel MacBook Pro, dude, I couldn't use it. Couldn't use it at all.
That's
The fan
crazy.
noise was so annoying, and I don't know, like streaming on Mac just it works so like it's so easy. Like there's like I've come across zero problems.
There are a few weird things, like of
Yeah,
course, like programs like OBS are more like Windows centric, so a lot of the plugins and things like that, it's so much easier to like download on Windows, and then there's just more, um, like
I've
more
noticed a
hacks and
few.
on
I mean, like in
Windows,
terms
but
of plugins, I use some like VST plugins for audio and stuff. That's all
okay,
I really use. Like
yeah,
VST
that's all I
plugins work
use
on
too.
everything, so it
Hmm.
doesn't seem to affect me too much.
Yeah,
But I
I
don't know, like no
use
fan noise.
yeah I use the audio plugin, and I use a plugin called Source Record because I've been testing a like multiple camera angle in my videos now. So
Okay.
Source Record will record like two different scenes at the same time. Like there's no way to do that on OBS
Mm,
otherwise. So
okay.
that's how I've been playing with plugins so far. Like I literally like before we got on the stream, I was literally just like looking at audio plugins because I like just got a new mic. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Is that the mic you're using now?
yeah, this is a new one.
Okay,
What
Samsung
is it? Oh,
Samsung
gotcha,
Q9U.
okay.
gotcha.
Yeah, I had like the Samsung G-Track Pro, which is like a USB condenser mic, but I just wanted a dynamic mic because I just like the way it sounds better for spoken word and things.
Oh yeah, dynamic mics are the best for that. A lot of people
Yeah.
do use condensers, but I prefer dynamic, straight directional.
Yeah, that's why I give Ramal crap for his Blue Yeti.
Dude,
And
if
I have
it
a
works,
fine
it works.
dynamic too, so
Yeah. If it works, it works. It's okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't listen to him. Yeah.
I actually did have a Blue Yeti a while back. I think my niece and nephew broke it, so I'm still mourning.
Nice.
I'm still mourning that. But yeah,
Yeah, they're built like tanks though. That's kind of hard to
Yeah.
break. They're heavy.
Like this thing,
They can do
I've
it.
dropped this like way too many times. I don't know how, but I keep dropping it. And, like it's fine. Like nothing's broken. Looks good as new. And like I don't know, just it's a tank of a mic. It's not the best. Like I wouldn't recommend anyone buy
Yeah.
it today. I bought this ages ago, so I'm just using it because
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah.
you slap a bit of EQ compression, it sounds amazing. But like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there are better mics, way better mics for the price now.
yeah,
Oh yeah, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy because Blue Yeti's been like in style for like
Forever.
push it like over 5
Yeah.
years. Like, how many models have they had in those 5 years? Like 2.
I don't know.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I see them everywhere. Like so many creators. The second I got mine, so many creators I see, I'm like, oh wow, they have that too. I will just go through video after video. Okay, so everyone has this mic. That's just how it felt.
Yeah, let me get it too.
So popular.
It is.
It's
I
kind
had
of
one
like
my.
it's like everyone has the Sony A7. All of the most of the YouTubers I know, like they use a Sony A7S III. Like they swear by it. It's kind of like it's like
Exactly.
a gear. It's like a gear cliche of like tech YouTube. Like I don't know.
Yeah. I just recently bought my son one for his streaming because he wanted to, stream games and stuff. So
Yeah.
just recently bought him one of those. But I use Audio Techia. I like their mics. I have it over there. I don't use it, unfortunately. I said I use Audio Techia, but I don't use it. But I use this is my Movo mic right here that I'm currently using now that I use on my camera
Okay.
and
That's a
my
good-
and my Rode mic. But I don't use the Rode Go anymore. This Movo, I just use this one. I like this one better. Don't ask me why. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a Zoom mic here on display. For some reason, like the mixer I have does not want to work with my computer, so I have to kind of like use different mics.
Oh, yeah.
But like this one sounds. I got this for $50 off of Amazon, and it does sound better than my older Yeti. So yeah, I'm gonna be using this for my YouTube videos too.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I actually got a wireless mic set up, so that's the one I use the most.
Okay.
So
I don't know
Yeah.
what to use for my. I keep like testing out new mics. I have the Video Mic Pro Plus. I used it for a while, but this room has way too much echo in it. I have to like treat the room, but like it can't be.
yeah,
Yeah, I have that
yeah.
issue too.
that's why I don't use my Rode now because the echo. I literally use my wireless mic. I put it on top of the camera and pin the microphone right here. My what's it called? The lapel mic
I've been
right
using
here,
the Rode
and
Wireless
then
Go
just
Live
works.
mic as well for a bit. It's great, but like I'm literally speaking toward I'm speaking at a blank wall at the moment. So literally the echo
Yeah.
is the worst it could probably
Yeah.
be.
Yeah,
I'm literally in an echo chamber right now, so I got to treat the walls and everything.
yeah.
So both of you guys are Sony users, Delvon, or do you use Canon? Don't you, Delvon?
I'm Canon. Yeah, I'm Canon. So this is my I could say M50. Jesus Christ. This is my RP. This is the camera that goes into my tech bag that I walk around and take all my pictures with. The one I actually do all my YouTube videos with is my Canon R, which is in front of me, using it as a webcam. So
Okay, I gotcha.
yeah.
I have this Sony A6400 in front of me. That's what I'm using with the Sigma 16mm. Absolutely love this combo. For walk around stuff, I use the Sony ZV-1 with a little cage.
Okay. Yeah, I have a ZV-1 as well. It wouldn't connect today, but yeah, I have that as well, and I have a Canon M50 Mark II on the way, but
That's my baby.
it's been delayed like I was supposed to get it like last Monday, and it still hasn't gotten
I remember
here.
you told me about that.
Yeah, I messaged you about it because I know you're a Canon user, so I'm like, I need all the tips. Like,
I
I
am
have
that camera man.
yeah, I have like the Sigma lens and everything like ready to go, but
What you got? The 1635?
yeah, 16. Yeah.
The legendary. Got it. You got a good lens to start off with, bro. Tell you that now. That lens is
Yeah, I'm
great.
like, I might as well.
Did you get the adapter?
Yeah, I did get I got the adapter as well. Like, everything's here, extra batteries, dummy batteries, like everything's here except for the camera.
Yeah, you're gonna need that dummy battery. Yeah, I was thinking about getting the M50 again to put into the tech bag instead because, I got a lot of photos that I shot with it. And of course, I threw like a 50 millimeter on it or a 35, and that camera just blows stuff away, man. That thing is amazing to be so small and stuff. So it's one of my favorite cameras to like walk around and shoot. But I
I mean,
never
if you have
shoot it.
a good lens, like everything just falls into place.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah.
honestly, it doesn't matter. Like people always ask, "Oh, is it ZV1?" No, not ZV1. You can't change the lens. I'm like M50, A60. It doesn't matter. Like just get it.
Yeah,
a
it was
lens.
between
50 mil lens.
it was between that and then the ZV E10 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this doesn't come fast enough, I'm definitely probably gonna send my Canon Sigma back into ZV E10 and a Sigma lens. But the ZV E10 is never in stock. Like, I've
Yeah.
been looking for like the past 2 days. The only one like doesn't ship till like February 12th. So it's insane.
What
Are
drew
you gonna
what
be
drew you
using your
to?
ZV? Oh, sorry.
No, I was about to
go
say
ahead.
what drew you to Sony. Both of you guys, whoever you Sony.
Well, I've been like recording on my phone for so long, and just I've seen so many people recommend the ZV-1 for a starter camera for YouTube. So that's just like what I decided to go with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you plan on using the M50 with your ZV1 or like?
Yeah, I plan on using both to. I don't know what I want to do like top down with. I'm thinking of using the Sigma to do my top downs because just like how the bokeh will look with products.
I do like. The thing with like multiple cameras is I try to stay in the same brand because like usually
I was about to say that.
yeah, like colors, like not color science, but like basically how cameras like
Color science.
like-
You said it.
Yeah, that's literally what
I
it
hate
is.
that word. So I hate it because
But
the
it's
most stupidest
true.
thing.
It's
Yeah,
true
it's the stupidest
though,
thing. But like
man.
it's like because I have the same profile on the Sony and on both my Sonys, right? And like it's literally just a matter of dropping a correction like from Final Cut and like all of my
Yep.
preset changes and all preset. And it's just so easy. And I worry about your situation with the ZV. With the ZV1.
Yeah,
and the
I
M50
understand
Mark
that
II.
because I've done like some top down videos with my Pixel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's terrible. First of all, but the colors definitely look different too. But the quality of the Pixel on my top downs were absolute like trash.
If you
but
do, I do
still
have a
posted.
tip for that though. If you do end up using both cameras, search up Leaming Light on Google. Leaming Light. Basically, it's a guy who makes corrective lights. Basically, so for example, say you have two different brands, you put like the respective camera light for that camera on each of the footage, and then it matches the colors like exactly. So there's that. It costs like a few dollars, but it's worth it if you're using multiple cameras. For
Yeah, yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
or
I have to DM
or
you
you
for
can
that.
shoot. Well, with the M50, he could download CineStyle, so he could shoot a flat profile. And I believe most Sony cameras have C-Log already, right? So do that camera
S-Log.
have C-Log? I mean S-Log.
Except-
Sorry, C-Log is
You
Canon,
can't push S-Log very far on the Sony
can't.
because of this stupid little bit rate. I still use S-Log. I used Phantom Light by Joel Familaro with S-Log, but like I have to be very like mindful of what I'm filming because if there's like if I'm filming stuff with like lots of gradients, I try not to use S-Log because of the blocking of like the 8 of the 420. Look, I'm spinning like numbers and stuff, but like yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, like, it's like it's such a weak codec, the Sony codec for log footage.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I switched from Sony a long time ago, so I'm not really familiar with their codecs anymore or anything. I went from Nikon
Now
to
they're
Sony
good, but
to
like
Canon.
on the stuff I have, the kind of older stuff, it's not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are speaking a foreign language to me right now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, but look, I can tell you this though: the M50 or just Canon in general, Canon, like he said, he don't like to say the word color science. Canon makes really good footage straight out the camera. No editing, no nothing.
No editing, yeah.
And that's why a lot of people go to Canon. Sony, you have to tweak it a little bit. That's different. But Sony has like superior eye autofocus. Their tracking is unmatched. But Canon has eye autofocus. But Canon face tracking is good, but not their eye tracking as good as like Sony. So it's a lot. But either
And
way,
there is also the issue of like Canon. Sometimes on like the budget cameras, like the M50, you shoot in 4K, and like it goes back to like the old autofocus standard.
yeah.
not the
Oh
new
yes,
one.
contrast.
Yeah,
Yes, contrast.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you lose dual pixel autofocus with that.
yes, which is
The
which is
M50.
bad. On like you
Yeah,
need dual pixel on Canon if you want to get the best out of the
yeah,
autofocus.
yeah. I had no choice. When I bought the R right here.
Yeah,
This got 4K, and then soon as I switch into 4K, it goes to contrast focus, and then it just sucks. You just got to use manual focus, right?
and it also
So
crops in a ton
and
as well.
the
In
crop
4K.
is 1.7 or 6 or something. It's huge.
Yeah.
And then I decided to get the R. Now the R keeps your dual pixel autofocus in 4K, so that's the reason why I got the R. And I was thinking about just getting like 2 Rs and getting rid of this, but I felt like this is small and nice and a good pro camera to walk around in
Yeah.
my bag, to get great shots. Because I actually shot some client works with this before I even got my R. So
Yeah.
because I wasn't too
Sorry,
sure if I
this
wanted to
stream has turned
dedicate
into
to
such
Canon.
like a camera geek. I'm sorry.
It did.
This wasn't what you planned for.
Yeah, it sounds like y'all need a podcast or something.
Exactly.
But I mean that kind of goes back to let's switch it back. It goes back to smartphone photography. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to explain to a lot of people when people trying to judge cameras. I mean, I love when I post my pictures and then there's somebody that's always in the comments talking trash about the photo or how it looked or something like that. But then y'all got to remember photography is very subjective because there's styles.
is.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
It's an
And
art.
and people always want like a natural photo. To be honest with y'all, I have never seen anybody who wants just a natural looking photo and really like want a natural looking photo. Most people will shoot it natural and then do some type of processing most of the time and edit or
Right.
whatever. And just to get it to look like what they want it to look like.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
it's like
so
sorry, like taking a picture is like
Mhm.
painting. When you're painting, you're presenting what you see in your own style. So it's
In your
like
own style.
when you take a picture, you're presenting what you want the scene to be like.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Perfect.
when in the photography community, we don't really like talk about somebody else's picture in a way like they do on Twitter. On Twitter, everybody thinks they're professional, right? You throw up a picture.
Oh, 100%.
Everyone knows what they're talking about
Yeah.
on Twitter. Yeah.
Exactly.
Everybody, right? They'll get your picture, they'll zoom in, they'll look at this, and they'll talk about dynamic range, they'll talk about shadows and what's supposed to be there. I'm like, what? You
Yeah,
really don't
and it's
know.
like-
You just
And it's interesting because like even like now people like with smartphones, this is like the hottest it's like ever been for like smartphones, like the debating and
Yeah.
just
I mean,
everyone
I
wanting to
find
be
it
right
really
about
fun.
something.
I like the phone wars from like an enthusiast standpoint, but I hate when people
Mm.
start getting personal about it. Like then it's like, no,
Oh, yeah,
well, it's like,
100%.
it's like, well, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Like, stop doing that.
Yeah, that's why I
it's-
don't invite people like that on the stream.
Like,
Yeah.
I love arguing about this stuff because it's like it's constructive discussion. Like talking about tech, it's like it's fun. But like once
Yeah.
people start getting personal, it's no.
Way too personal,
Exactly.
Yeah.
like people like to want to validate whatever device they're using or camera they're
Yeah,
using,
God, yeah.
and then they just want to. it takes the best portrait. It got the best video. Like if somebody was
I
saying
mean-
that Pixel got the best pictures, right? They will argue. They would just jump in an argument. Like an Apple person would jump in an argument, like, "Well, iPhone got the best video."
What's up,
like,
Ace?
we're not even talking about that right now.
Yeah, exactly. Completely irrelevant things. That,
And
like,
that-
no one
and
asked.
even-
Like, no one asked you.
Like even though I think that's like true that iPhone has the better video, like technically
Oh, yeah,
that's
for
still very subjective. Like
It really
technically,
is.
if you're
Yes.
thinking about it, like it's still subjective. Like some people may like the super saturation of a Samsung camera. Some people may like noisy pixel camera videos. But yeah, again, it's
stylistic
all
choice,
subjective.
Like, it's all stylistic.
It-
Sometimes
I
noise
agree.
can be like beneficial if
Oh
you're trying
my
to
God,
like
yes,
like,
yes, it does.
You can, like some like
Yes.
people like tend to always like look down on noise, but it can be used really well to like paint
Artistic.
like paint it, yeah, artistically. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love using. I don't know. Again, we're going way too geeky.
Yeah.
But like,
and then let's get on while we're still on that because we're still on the phone. Even like when stuff is like what I want to say overexposed, right? That's in photography. That is a thing in photography.
That's a
You know,
look,
people, yes, that is a look. So when people say
especially
that
for like
camera did
monochrome
this,
photography, like
Oh
having
my God,
overexposed
I was-
skies is like
Yeah.
I was about to say that, man.
Yeah.
That is like the greatest ever. So like no matter, they like I said, they know nothing about nothing. And they think they know
Exactly.
something about everything. It doesn't make any sense because photography is very subjective in its style. It's really just about the style. Not everybody's going to like your style. I got clients that come to me for my style, but then there's clients that don't come to me for my style because they don't like my style, so
Right.
they
Yeah.
don't book me.
Exactly.
But the ones that book me, they book me because they like my style, and that's everything with photography. So when somebody asks me to critique their photo, I will critique their photo. But if somebody posts a photo, I'll just tell them it's a nice photo, and I'll be honest about it, or whatever, because they're not asking for a critique. In the photography community, we respect each other with that. Of course, tech Twitter is different,
Yeah.
so it's handled different. There's a thing that we call critiquing, then there's a thing that tech people do just called bashing, and just I hate it. It ain't from
Exactly.
iPhone, or it ain't from a Pixel, or whatever phone you
Yeah.
fanboying, and the colors are too bright. Come on, man, the picture look good. Get out of here.
They only say that because they're side, like no one, like in a real world situation, no one looks at the same photo side by side taken different. Like no one does that.
That's true.
Like
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
no one does.
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
So
We just
cheap,
scroll through Instagram. That's why Instagram is vertical. Just keep going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
Focus
right.
on one thing at a time, and you'll be fine. Like
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
comparison.
honestly, you cannot tell who's an iPhone user and who's a Android user, like on Instagram. Like the normal person
No
can't.
one thinks like that. When I
Exactly.
scroll on Instagram, I don't care what the photo is taken on. Like I don't care as
You
long as
don't-
it's
you
a
don't.
good
Yeah.
photo.
You don't. It's really a tech Twitter thing or whatever. And I feel like photos is to express yourself. You know what I'm saying? I use photos to express myself. When I post one of my professional pictures, nobody goes up there and critique it. Nobody does. But if the minute I post it from a camera, right, like a phone, they're zooming in, they're checking for flaws, they're going here, or they're saying that the color is too bright. Look, I'm a vivid person, right? I'm a photographer who like vivid colors. I either do vivid, sometimes I dull them down, completely down, or I go like black and white or something like that, right? Like my style, I have different styles of photos. Sometimes I even make the image look soft and foggy. Nobody says anything bad about it. They be like, "Oh, that's photo dope. That's great." But if I do that on a cell phone, it changes the whole perspective. They're like,
Right.
Yeah,
man,
exactly.
it's not natural looking. The grass is too green. The
Yeah,
sky's
that
too
and
blue.
like the megapixel battles of like, oh,
Yeah.
this one has more megapixel, 8K video, like, no
Oh
one
yeah,
cares.
all of that.
Oh,
Nobody,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah, I just want to hit these comments real quick. Altered Tech said when I post photos on a photography platform, I get compliments, but when I post them on Tech Twitter, all hell breaks loose.
Absolutely, man.
That just sums it up
So
all
true.
right there.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
So, Big House did have a question for us. He said, if smartphones didn't have cameras on them, what device would be your daily driver?
Right.
I would,
What phone would be?
Bro,
the-
you asking the wrong person right now for me because I
I
carry
would
a
pick
camera
a
with me.
Motorola.
So I will pick any phone. It don't really matter. Well, my
It doesn't
Pixel.
matter.
I'll stick with my Pixel. I don't care. Like I carry a camera, dude. Like it's not a question for me.
Yeah, I would definitely pick up a flagship Motorola if that's the case, because Motorola has my favorite UI. So that's what I would
Yeah, like
go
the
with.
main
But I
reason
get I
use
get
an
his point.
iPhone is because of the optimization in social media apps. Otherwise, I don't
Yeah.
really care that much because I'm literally like I do TikTok, so like kind of need it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Everybody got their
yeah.
reasons why they use their
Yeah,
devices.
exactly.
And camera's not mine. That's not really why I use mine. So
Yeah, same with
You know.
me. What I do, it'll be the same as I do now. So I have a Pixel and I have an LG Velvet. Now I love this device to death. I love it so much, and like I understand the camera is not good, but like if the camera was not a factor, like everything else is great. Because
Yeah.
I don't like the processor is not as powerful, but like I don't do that much heavy lifting. So Pixel and my Velvet. Pixel
Yeah.
6.
Like
Makes
the other
sense,
thing
yeah.
about tech Twitter, like people think everyone's like we were talking about before, everyone's a professional on Twitter, right? But like everyone thinks everyone else is also a professional, which is like
Yeah.
like everyone's like, oh, if you don't have this, how like no one thinks in the mindset of the normal consumer. 'Cause, like
Yeah, no
we're
one.
the 1% of
Never.
1% who actually gives a crap. No one else actually cares. Like we try to
Yeah.
we try to put our views on like everyone else, and like we lose touch of reality once we start doing that.
Yeah, and that's why like when people talk about like ecosystems, Apple's ecosystem or Samsung's or anybody's ecosystem for that matter, I'm gonna tell you right now, the average user does not use those ecosystems like that. I mean, the most they buy is the watch, they get the buds, and they get the phone, and maybe they
And
even a
that's it.
tablet at most. And then and if they did have the laptop, I bet you they can't even tell you what side card is or all this extra stuff. We're the geeks. We pay attention to every little detail about all of this stuff, So when it comes to that stuff like that, nobody thinks about the average consumer. We always thinking that we're the minority. I mean, we're the majority. We're not the majority. We're definitely the minority when it comes to this tech. Period.
It's like at the end of the
You know?
day, like the best ecosystem is the one that you don't have to explain. I feel like for normal consumers, like it
Yeah,
doesn't have
yeah.
needs no explanation. Like if
Yeah.
like the perfect ecosystem exists when you don't know you're using the ecosystem. I feel like
Yes.
because
Yes.
that's like it's just like that's how most people use their devices. They use them because they need to use specific features, not because they're looking for the ecosystem to use them within that scope or whatever.
And that's funny that because that's what I just told you earlier, how I feel about Apple. The things that I use from Apple just works seamlessly, right? I go to my computer, I got my AirPods on, I go to my computer, play some music, it just comes on. You know, like with Sidecar, I would have to think about that, grab my tablet, walk over there, put it beside it, then take the mouse, stroll over it, and all stuff like that. It's something more that I have to think about what I'm going to do on this device. But just listening to music or watching a movie and just hitting play and it just plays. Oh, it's playing through here now. Okay, cool. And I ain't gotta
Yeah.
take these off. I ain't gotta pair them. I ain't gotta do anything extra or whatever. Oops, sorry. Get back.
It's like anything in life. If you got to think about it, then
Yeah.
you don't need to.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I agree.
Big House had a question for Arthur. You actually like LG's UI?
I do. I like it.
I gotcha.
I'm used
Go
to
ahead.
Last
it.
LG fan.
I'm the last one that's gonna ever start.
It's interesting. Like I can't. Like I was a big LG person before. Like I had the V20 for a very long time, and the V40. Yeah, the V40. I had
My
both
camera
of
keep
those.
trying to focus on my laptop.
No, you're good. But yeah, I had both of those for a while, and I could not see like why people hated their UI so much because it was like really cartoonish looking, but it was like really like googly in terms of just like everything else. Like I don't get why people hated on it so bad. That's like another
know.
thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I never hated on anybody's UI, to be honest with you. If it was fast, it worked. I was fine with it. I
Right.
never, and plus with Android, I mean, Jesus Christ, like you have options to like just download a launcher and just kind of make the
Exactly,
phone
exactly.
yours. So, like, I don't, I prefer to really care more about the features that the phone is offering than the UI itself. Like I love the features that the Pixel offer, but I hate the Material launcher. I hate that, or a Pixel launcher. It's so
Yeah.
lackluster that I can't really own it like I want to own it. It feels like my iPhone. When it comes
Yeah,
to that
that's
launcher,
another
I
reason
can't.
why I'm getting rid of
Yeah,
mine. Yeah.
yeah. I want to make it feel like me, man. It's just crazy. But like Samsung, I can do anything with their. It's surprisingly Samsung allow you to customize their launcher so much. Even with Good Lock and everything. So I don't know. Like it's. I don't know, man. I just like having a phone or a device that it feels like I own it and not somebody's controlling it. Not saying anything bad about Apple. The experience that they give everybody is great, is wonderful, but that doesn't fit everybody. And I'm okay with saying that it don't fit me. So that's
Yeah.
why I just can't main an iPhone over an Android for a lot of reasons, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much
because
it.
the iPhone doesn't. I use it out of utility mostly. I like it, but I don't like it the same way I like my like the personalization I add to like my
Yeah.
other Android phones. It doesn't have the same magic to it.
Yeah,
Same.
That's it's a very tech person thing to say, but like
yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
I got two more points, and I'm gonna wrap this up. First off,
Okay.
I forgot the second one already, but first off, Smart Launcher 5. That is the best launcher out there. Definitely give it a try. I remember the second one
never
now.
heard of it.
Oh,
I
hey,
will-
I'm open
Yeah,
for it.
definitely try it. Yeah, definitely try it. Well, I think it's actually Smart Launcher 6. They just updated in like January.
Smart Launcher
but
6.
It's so dope.
I download that right now, so I won't forget.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, the other one, Ramal. Do you still have your OnePlus 7T? Because I remember you had that for when I first started watching you on TikTok. That's like a device I always saw you with. I'm like, why did he keep this so long?
So currently, no, I have the OnePlus 9R.
Okay.
OnePlus 9R. I gave my OnePlus 7T to my mum as a business phone. She uses it more than her iPhone now. It's kind of funny, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, I bought the OnePlus 7T. Like basically, I started TikTok early 2020. I had opinions about Android phones. Never used one. I did use one, but I didn't have one at that point in time. And I was like,
Okay,
I
that
can't
makes
have
sense.
opinions about something if I don't use it. So I got the OnePlus 7T. At the time, it was like a great deal for me. Loved it, but then I upgraded to the 9R soon after because I wanted 120 hertz. Literally, I just wanted 120 hertz. It's such a stupid reason.
Okay.
So I got the 9R. There are some days where I like the Pixel a lot, but like this phone just has a special place in my heart. I don't know why. But yeah, the 70, it is. We still have it, but it's not in my possession. It's with my mom. So. Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, I was just curious because, like, I saw you, like, when I first started watching your videos, that's the phone I saw you with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to wrap this up now. Appreciate everyone for joining, everyone still in here. And as always, I appreciate all of my guests. The first timer, Arthur, really appreciate your time, man. Appreciate your insight and the articles that you lend it to this stream. Much appreciated. Definitely hit up anybody in here if you need help with YouTube, because that's like a completely different beast than writing. Yeah. So yeah, again, I appreciate everyone for joining, and we will see you next week.
All right, man. Take care. All
See you
right,
guys.
fellas.
Thank you.